Hello, Elephant TV here. Remember the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie trailer? Well, before it was released, people judged this teaser poster. Fans of Sonic thought it was going to be complete turd stew. I thought, well, at least he almost looks like him, and I was excited about it. Seeing the backlash from that poster, I thought, guys, there hasn't even been a trailer yet. It can't be that bad, right? But then, we saw the first trailer that Paramount and Sega released, and it really was...
SFPD! Meow? Ah, come on.
that bad. I mean, Fantastic Four 2015, The Lion King remake, and The Last Jedi all received backlash, but this trailer takes the cake. From the unfitting trailer music, the uniconic Dr. Eggman, the choice of real-world scenes instead of Mobius, the copied Quicksilver scenes, all the way to the most important sin of this trailer, Sonic's design. The only saving grace of the movie seemed to be Jim Carrey's performance as Dr. Eggman. YouTubers everywhere reviewed and reacted to this trailer, but then Paramount did something magical. They announced that instead of just keeping this creepy werewolf atrocity like other movie companies might have done, Paramount responded to the negative feedback, stating they were going to change Sonic's design, delaying its release from the 8th of November 2019 to the 13th of February 2020. This got people asking how. Leaked images got my hopes up, but I held my breath until the official new design was released. Then, on the 12th of November 2019, this was released.
I'm Sonic, a little ball of super energy in an extremely handsome package.
They went beyond coolness, beyond funny, and I was really excited. I really applaud Paramount and Jeff Fowler for fixing the design and listening to the fans. Sonic's redesign is much more, well, Sonic. Although, I think they could have colored his arms to match his skin tone instead of being blue, but hey, that's just a nitpick. Now, what do I think of the movie itself? It was so awesome! The design is a lot more cartoony, as he should be. Everything Sonic does is something I wanted to see him do, and Ben Schwartz was a great choice for his voice. Unfortunately, there were a few problems I have. For one is the opening. I ultimately loved the starting with the climax element they opened with, but what comes afterwards, not so much. Our story starts in Green Hill Zone. The design is really gorgeous and impressive. The loop-de-loop looks cool and the water is breathtaking. Even young Sonic looks adorable. Sonic heads up to a village to meet up with Longclaw, who sounds a bit like Shara from Secret Rings.
Sonic, someone could have seen you.
The scene makes very little sense to any viewers, even if you are a Sonic fan. The Echidna tribe, unfortunately, comes along to attack Longclaw for... why again?
And I led them right to us.
How though? Huh, I saw you for whatever reason. Even so, the premise felt similar to Sat.AM's Sonic the Hedgehog. That being said, there is still not enough reason for the Echidna tribe to attack Sonic aside from just wanting his powers. And the rushed background story doesn't leave much room to build up Sonic and Longclaw's relationship. Luckily, I'm one of those people that say that Longclaw didn't get killed and was just captured. As the Birdman once said,
"If they don't die on screen, they aren't actually dead."
Other than the opening, the rest of the movie has a rather decent pace. We then flash forward 10 years to see Tom Wachowski, played by James Marsden, known for playing Cyclops in the X-Men universe, working as a traffic cop in a very hilarious scene.
What?
Sonic saves the tortoise and we get to see the types of things to showcase Sonic's super speed in a cool and funny way. Playing ping pong with himself, doing jump rope, using a washing machine as a treadmill, and I really like how he's reading the Flash comics.
A nice, safe little world filled only with mushrooms. Gross, smelly mushrooms. I hate mushrooms.
We later cut to Tom Wachowski, as Sonic calls him, the Donut Lord, heading back to his house to be with his wife, Pretzel Lady, or Maddie, where Tom gets promoted through a letter. I gotta say, they do feel like they are a happily married couple. I also relate to Tom Wachowski about wanting to make something new about being a cop, because it shows Tom as caring, but cool, and wanting to be with others to help them without being a jerk about it. We then see Sonic enjoying and cheering on a baseball game, which he then reenacts by himself, where he is at first aware of the reenactment, but when the reality sinks in, we see how sad and miserable Sonic is because of how he has to be alone to be safe. During the climax of his lonely frustration, Sonic causes an energy surge that creates a power outage. This was a subtle way of showing Sonic's emotions. Meanwhile, the government and military talk about the power outage and what to do about it.
What do we know?
Well, our first instinct was it was an EMP.
So they decide to send in Dr. Eggman. Oh, I'm sorry, I mean Dr. Robotnik. Actually, I'm just gonna call him Eggman from here on out because that's the name I'm used to. He is played by the wackiest, funniest 90s actor who played The Grinch, The Mask, and The Riddler, and loads of other films, Jim Carrey. I've gotta say, I really like this performance.
You've never seen anything like this before. It says on the top banana, in a world full of hungry little monkeys.
So Sonic heads off to Tom Wachowski's house
With minimal damage to Donut Lord's property.
in order to escape to Mushroom Hill Zone. But then Tom comes in and shoots Sonic with a dart,
Meow?
causing Sonic to lose his rings, and now it's up to Tom and Sonic to get them back. Sonic hides on the roof while Tom stalls Dr. Eggman.
Dr. Robotnik.
Nope, I'm quite sure it's Eggman.
Ain't on a jug band!
Mr. Wachowski, are you familiar with U.S. Code 904, Title 10, Article 104?
Well, looky here. That's an actual rule.
So later, Sonic ends up causing a disruption again, leading to another funny moment.
Why don't you have your staircase carpeted?
A series of hijinks ensued, including Tom punching Eggman hilariously. But could you imagine if that was the original design?
Wait! Don't hurt him!
Sonic and Tom escaped in Tom's car. Furious, Dr. Eggman and Agent Stone take Sonic's quill to the lab. During the trip, Sonic explains what the rings are, but Tom kicks him out of his car with a reaction that might be a bit over the top, but is still perfectly reasonable.
Okay, pal, out you go.
I'm sorry, what?
Look, this is the worst possible time for me to get myself into trouble, okay? You asked me to save your life, I saved your life.
Cold and wet, Sonic reappears in Tom's car. This is when Tom realizes they'll need to stay together to solve Sonic's problem.
Oh my god, stop the car right now!
What?
The world's largest rubber band ball? We gotta see it!
No, this is not some fun family road trip, okay?
Up, where'd you go, Sonic?
You're right. It was lame. Gift shop was cool, though. I got you a mouse pad. When are we gonna get there?
We will get there when we get there.
Now that was really funny. I love it because it shows more of Sonic's personality, his excitement, impatience, and his attitude. So Tom and Sonic end up in a petrol station so Tom can talk to another cop named Wade. Which brings us to one of the problems with the story. Tom is labeled as a terrorist. How did Dr. Eggman convince everyone that he is a terrorist in such a small amount of time? But we'll get back to this topic later. So Tom and Sonic arrive at a bar and Sonic shows off his teenager-like personality. They have time for some bonding, playing darts, which, while it is funny, Sonic kinda almost injured someone badly. Safety first, am I right? They also danced at the bar, Sonic rides on a mechanical bull, and Tom and Sonic play some electronic basketball. Funny time filler that allows the two characters to bond.
Can we help you?
We don't like your kind around here.
Our kind? What kind is that?
Hipsters.
I think they have a different definition of hipsters than I do. Unfortunately, a bar fight ensues, leading to a speed time scene, which, although is hilarious, it isn't really as good as the Quicksilver scenes in the X-Men films. The reason for this is that I think that they might have confused running at very fast speeds and stopping time. I'll also get back to that later. We then lead to a really nice action scene, which while Sonic and Tom do get into an argument about Tom leaving Green Hills, it doesn't escalate to something differently or bigger. Sonic then attacks the tank and does the floss dance from the Fortnite game. I kind of facepalm and laughed at the same time, mostly because Fortnite is the most overrated game I've ever played. Unfortunately, the tank ends up transforming, leading to another joke, which again, Sonic destroys the Decepticon, I think the inspiration was from, following up to later for Tom to destroy the other robot, which gives us another nice joke.
Oh! Give me a big fat break!
Aw, this one is cute. Let's keep him. You got car insurance, right?
Don't scream, at least you have a convertible now. After taking out the baby drone, it becomes a sticky bomb and tries to get it off. They eventually do, but Sonic gets hit by the explosion when it blows up, causing him to be knocked out. We also see how Eggman is not just funny, but he's also intimidating, like in Sat-AM.
I won't miss you when you're gone. Human beings are unreliable and stupid, and I care very little about them. But my machines are diligent, relentless. They're everything to me.
Before this day is done, you and the Power Rings will be right in the palm of my hand.
So Tom later goes to Maddie's house to meet up with Rachel Wachowski, my least favorite character. The character that hates Tom for what appears to be no reason. While it was made understandable when the news says he's a fugitive, but the dislikable tone was established way before that. And before you say, maybe that's part of the joke would still need to make sense. No shame to the actress since she does play the character really well, I just wish her motives had been better explained. Once Sonic was shown, Rachel thankfully passes out. We then get another one of the best parts of the movie. Funny enough, did you know Jim Carrey actually went off script when doing the dance disco style?
I just thought you might like a latte with steamed Austrian goat milk.
What do I look like, an imbecile? Of course I want a latte. I love the way you make them!
Did I mention how much I love Jim Carrey as an actor? I love this line so much that I actually said that line to my dad a few times when he makes me a mocha in the morning.
Come on, buddy.
Gotta go fast!
It's an overused meme that—
Zip it, James A. Williams! Catchphrases are meant to establish a character. That's like having a Scooby-Doo movie without Shaggy saying zoinks, or if Thomas didn't say cinders and ashes.
This is kind of hard for me to explain, and it's going to sound a little bit crazy. He has to get to the Transamerica building, and I promised I'd take him.
Aliens? Maddie, your husband's lost his mind.
Rachel, you fainted. You literally saw it, and you fainted. So right while Tom and Maddie talk about going to San Francisco, Maddie's niece Jojo gives Sonic some brand new shoes that look much closer to the iconic shoes than the product placement that was originally designed. So Sonic and the team arrived at the building at San Francisco, but not before this happens.
How much longer? I can't breathe in here. Hello? Anybody there?
Do you have your child in that bag?
No. I mean, yes, it's a child, but it's not mine.
Yup, they kept the child abuse joke from the abysmal first trailer.
You know, for kids!
Anyways, Sonic finally finds his rings and says his goodbyes to Tom. Unfortunately, Eggman actually is starting to look more like Eggman, giving him a vehicle that would be an alternative to his Eggmobile, and giving him his red suit, which, what was it again?
It's a flight suit, designed to modulate my body temperature and reduce drag.
Right after Sonic takes his friends safely— Never mind. Sonic does the Quicksilver thing, which is slightly better, only to find out that Eggman used the quill that Tom found to catch up to Sonic. Sonic uses a ring to save his friends, and then the chase scene is, I'm not gonna lie, the best chase scene I've seen in a while. The score fits the scene well, the visual effects are well done, and Sonic and Eggman's choreography makes the scene really engaging. It starts in San Francisco, through France, down the Great Wall of China, and even Egypt. The choice of scenery is both funny and quite creatively chosen. Unfortunately, Eggman blasted him right back to Green Hills, rendering him unconscious. Tom puts up a good fight with Eggman and then says a super motivational line.
This was his home.
He was my friend.
This line helps Sonic gain a new perspective about his powers. Instead of using his speed to run away, he uses them to protect and fight back, which is followed by the best final battle of all times. I love it because of how badass Sonic's line is, how badass the lightning visual effects are, plus the stellar soundtrack and spot-on acting. Sonic damages his Eggmobile and uses a ring to banish Dr. Eggman to the Mushroom Place, which might be a really clever reference to Mushroom Hill Zone. The story ends with Sonic becoming part of Tom's family, Tom's fugitive thingy gets resolved off screen, and Dr. Eggman goes bold and insane, and looks a lot more true to his video game design. And just to excite the viewers for a possible sequel, Tails makes a cameo at the end of the movie. So that's the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. It was the best movie I saw in 2020. It's hard to pinpoint specifically why. The acting is superb, the visuals are amazing, the story is at a focused pace, and builds anticipation for a potentially amazing sequel this year. However, there are some parts of the film that make this film not perfect. This here is a pie chart comparing my thoughts. Let me talk you through the bad before we go through all the positives. The first area of improvement is the rushed opening. We didn't get to understand the relationship between Sonic and Longclaw, or see if Sonic had any other creatures to hang out with in Green Hill Zone. We don't really get to see much about Sonic's origin and how he arrived to Earth, or even why the echidnas were attacking him other than potentially wanting his powers, as I said earlier. I hope that in the sequel we get to know more about Mobius, aka Sonic's world, and what happened to Longclaw after the opening. The second area for improvement is the confusing plot element, where the media labels Tom as a domestic terrorist, yet no one seemed to try to apprehend him. He doesn't wear any disguise, and at the service desk, he literally shows his ID to the receptionist. It's more confusing that the plot element gets completely resolved off screen. I'm not sure how this could be resolved so quickly. There weren't any scenes showing what Tom did to be proven innocent. How did he go from being a domestic terrorist to being congratulated and awarded for his efforts after so much destruction anyways? And for the third and final area for improvement, which is the one that angers me the most, is the character, Maddie's sister, Rachel. The girl that has problems with Tom that aren't explained properly. It is made understandable when the news says that he's a fugitive, but her dislike for him was established even before that happened. Tom and Maddie were shown to have a healthy relationship, and Tom wasn't shown to be doing anything wrong, so it doesn't make sense for Rachel to dislike him so much. Maybe the upcoming sequel might answer that question. Until then, I'll make up a few of my own reasons. Either Tom shaved her head as a prank, or Tom tried to save their parents but they ended up dying and Rachel hated/blamed him for their deaths. Or maybe something more plausible. But I guess we won't know because it wasn't explained. And now to get to the awesome points of the movie. Awesome point number 1. Sonic's better design. It really looks a lot more like Sonic. The eyes look better, properly adjusted, and no longer looks like a glimpse from hell. The facial expressions actually look like real facial expressions and stay true to the original Sonic. Ben Schwartz is a spectacular voice for the character and is on par with Roger Smith and Jaleel White. Awesome point number 2, Jim Carrey's performance as Dr. Eggman. When it comes to actors that make me laugh, I really love Jim Carrey. I definitely loved his performances in loads of his films, and this one is no exception. Jim Carrey was able to capture Eggman's zany side of this character, from the way he carries himself to the way he delivers his lines. It is a spot-on adaptation of the video game character. Awesome point number 3, the humor.
Why don't you have your staircase carpeted? You're right. It was lame. Gift shop was cool though.
Awesome point number 4, the references. I really like how they have nice Easter eggs like the Sonic meme drawing, the Flash comics, and even how the rings act like portals referencing the giant rings in Sonic 1. Awesome point number 5, the soundtrack. Even though when it comes to soundtracks, John Williams and Hans Zimmer are my favorite composers, Junkie XL is a close second for his work on this film and recently, the Snyder Cut of Justice League. His orchestral score was super suspenseful and paired well with the epic visual effects. Speaking of which, awesome point number 6, the visuals. Those are the best visuals I've ever seen in a movie since all the Marvel movies combined. But I am a huge fan of live action and animation hybrid movies, so I'd love to see more of those in the future. Awesome point number 7, the demonstration on Sonic's speed in a few scenes. Despite me saying that it's not as good as the Quicksilver scenes from the X-Men films, I really love the attempt to explain how awesome his speed abilities are and how it looks to Sonic. And awesome point number 8, and the final one, Sonic's friendship with Tom. The friendship feels very unique and is done gradually throughout the film. The way Sonic is idolizing Tom from afar, and the way they meet in Tom's garage, it feels a bit like foreshadowing. What else makes the friendship unique is that they don't use the cliches that would involve something like misunderstandings or something where it may seem like they would break up and not be friends anymore, but then later they would get back together again. I mean, granted, they do get into an argument during the chase scene, but it doesn't actually go beyond that, and it's understandable why Sonic would be upset when Tom says he's moving to San Francisco. However, Sonic apologizes before he tries to leave Earth, which then, near the end of the film, they become good friends. So overall, the Sonic movie is a spectacular movie that I highly recommend, even if you're not a Sonic fan. I can't wait for the sequel to end up happening this year, with so many potential plot elements. Knuckles and Sonic to be in a rivalry from the opening scene, Eggman getting fat or creating Metal Sonic, revealing if Longclaw isn't actually dead. There is just so much for Jeff Fowler to think about when creating this sequel. As for this film, I give it a 9 out of 10 and my first official ribbon of awesomeness. I recommend this movie that much. And until next time, this is Elephant TV signing off. See ya.